done? Okay, my turn.
Oh, good grief. I don't think this tree is worth it. But let's play with the monsters. Okay, I changed my mind. I definitely want to kill them. Got him! Yes, 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 I got him. Well, good morning. We're back in Middle Earth, and we are continuing the quest that we picked up at the Door to the Clouds. We have to go to Glokru. Or is it Glokuru? We need to find the last emissary. We need to kill goblins. And we need to find a bat cave. So actually, we're going to start by eating some food. Okay. We'll start with the goblins and the emissary. Which are all in here. You have discovered Glokuru. Oh, and I almost forgot. The buried treasure hunt is on again. We'll go ahead and... there. Get that out of the way. Oh, and if you didn't have all your letters yet, there are more Morgul in here with letters. And there's the other White Hand emissary. And there he went. Alright, so we just need to kill 3 more goblins in here and we're done. Okay. And that did it for the goblins. Now. Well, hello. How are you? You're not a very nice fellow, are you? Let's kill you. Now, somewhere around here, supposedly, is the Bat Cave. There's a Morgul. Okay, no cave there. Alright. Is it in here somewhere? There it is. Wow, after all this time, I did actually remember where this was. You have found the bat cave to feed bats and handlers. The bats themselves are easy enough. The handlers are a little more of a challenge. So, there's a handler. Actually, not too bad. Okay. So. Lots and lots of bats in here. That's a dead end. Okay. And I think we have everything here. So we can leave the cave and head back to Zirakzigil, which we have completed everything we needed to do. You know, I never did realize just how strong a lightning runekeeper is. Alright, so looks like everything goes to common here, except for one that leads to a different place altogether.
The time has come to drive forth the orcs from our kingdom.
So that's the end of the emissaries of the White Hand, and good riddance. Our only hope against the odds is to keep the goblins disorganized and to encourage them to prey upon each other as much as they prey upon us. The last thing we need down here is for some strong leader to emerge and unite them against us. So, nothing usable. We'll just take what's more expensive. Oh, look, we leveled up.
The shadow of Mordor will not long fill the halls of Khazad-dûm.
Welcome back. Was the hunting good? You saw a few of those creatures that have been stirring up the bats, have you? This does not bode well.
Stand and speak with me. The fate of Khazad-dûm hangs in the balance.
I don't know what these creatures are, Medriel. This is the first time I've seen or heard of them, though perhaps they are related to the Maravel. But I am certain that their presence here in Khazad-dûm bodes only ill. Perhaps Buck may be of help to us. I seem to recall him mentioning something about these creatures, and I suspect that he may have encountered them again on his way to Tharakh Bazan. Speak with Buck and find out what information he may have. Alright, so all roads lead to Tharakh Bazan. And that would be the garden in Moria. That's the only place you really see things growing. Go this way. And we go up a little ways. I used to get lost looking for this place. And it was just literally right here. Actually, let's just go up and through. This is a pretty area. Even dwarves like green growing things. Oop. There we go. Well, we might as well get off our horse for this one. Or I should say our goat. And here we are at the encampment. Well, here's Buck. We'll talk to him first.
May Durin return soon to his halls.
So you want to learn more about the accursed creatures known as Merville. Well, I'm afraid I cannot say that I've learned much of yet. The Merville have remained mostly unseen as we explored Tharakh Bazan, but I know someone who may know where to look. Arnold has studied the maps and gathered knowledge of the many dark corners of Khazad-dûm, obtained from him the knowledge of where the Merville may reside in numbers. Alright, so let's talk to Arnold.
The orcs of Moria have much
I
to
called him
account for.
Arnold, it's Arnaud. Greetings, traveler. What brings you to Tharakh Bazan? Merville, you say? Why, yes, not long ago, I read a report of these creatures that came from Jazargun to the east. They indicate a huge cavern at the eastern end of Durin's Way, crawling with Merville and Merville. Let's be thankful that we have not yet seen them in force, but be wary should you head east to the great pit where they are known to dwell. Alright, oh, here's Gerwith.
The House of Durin will live forever!
It's good to see you, Medriel. I am glad to hear that the goblins have paid for what transpired at Glakuru. When I think back to that day, I can still feel the heat of the fire all around me. Well, your deeds have given me hope. Perhaps one day I will build a new outpost at Glakuru, and will make it known that it was only possible thanks to your bravery.
Perhaps soon we will toast our victory against the orcs of Moria.
The beauty of the gardens never ceases to amaze me. Many of the crystals that grow naturally here in Tharakh Bazan are used throughout Khazad-dûm as a source of light. In some locations, the Merville have been destroying the crystals we have placed in order to extinguish any visible light. Many of our corridors and halls have become darker than the blackest night. We must collect more crystals to replace the ones that have been destroyed. Search Tharakh Bazan for naturally formed crystals, and I will make sure they are put to good use.
Stand and speak with me. The fate of Khazad-dûm hangs in the balance.
When I was merely a lad, my grandfather taught me about a certain plant that had nourishing properties. He called the plant mudroot, and it only grew near the edges of fresh water. By boiling the root of this plant, he could extract the oils within and create a brew that was hearty enough to rouse a sleeping dragon. Well, that is what he claimed. I doubt he ever saw a dragon. Nevertheless, the brew was strong and could be put to use in helping our sick and wounded recover more quickly. I have not seen such a plant in some time, but I am hopeful that it may be growing here in Tharakh Bazan, as there are many pools and streams of fresh water to be found. If you come across any healthy roots growing near the water, please return them to me so that I may examine them.
Stand and speak with me. The fate of Khazad-dûm hangs in the balance.
Medril, I feel there is trouble brewing. Arnfinn left several days ago, heading east towards Jazargun. He said he was going out to search the nearby chambers to learn anything he might about Mazog and the Arks. He has yet to return, and I fear his safety. Would you look for him? He was last seen headed towards some of the Ark-infested areas to the east. I fear something may have happened to him, and that could lead the Arks back here. Well, we'll start here with the roots and the crystals. So, glowing crystals, which we mine like we would any ore. And then healthy mudroot. And you're going to find those, well, right next to the water like he said they should be. There's another crystal. Enjoy the greenery. It's the only greenery you're going to see in Moria. I don't know if we can look up enough. You would think nothing would grow down here, but the light from the mirrors provides enough illumination for plants to thrive. At least a few. Maybe the glowing crystals also provide some of that illumination. Who knows? Interesting plant. I was gonna say, usually they disappear on their own. Just took that one a second. It was stubborn. Huh, even goblins like a nice roaring fire to sit by. Amazing. We're still missing some roots. And we still need 2 more crystals. There'll be some roots around here. I don't see any though. Oh, there's a crystal. Looks like we have a PvP kinship advertising. Custodi de la Flamme d'Honneur is recruiting. If you're looking for the best PvP kinship, send tell to our best officer, Arian, best PvP player ever. Okay. I don't know. I don't think their English is their first language. But, so they're into player versus monster play. And they're looking for new recruits. So if that's your thing, you enjoy that, the player versus monster play thing, then they might be something to consider. This is a pretty spot. So we need 1 more mud root. Okay. So with all that, we head back with all of our goodies. You can really tell this was a well-tended spot at one time. Oh, that's not what I wanted to kill. Oops, sorry, little cave spider. Alright, we're back.
May Durin return soon to his halls.
These are exactly what I had hoped for, Medriel. Yes, these are the mud roots I remember from my youth. I had all but given up hope that I would see them again. You're well deserving of my praise. I will wait for you to take your leave before beginning the boiling process. The smell is quite horrible, and it often attracts the deep claws. I wish you luck on your travels.
The day of the dwarves is coming.
You have brought me quite the assortment of crystals. Great work. We will use them to bring some of the warmth and beauty of these gardens into the dark corners where no other light can pierce. Alright, so need to find and talk to Arnfin, and now he's in this bit of a maze in here. Will not lie, I find it very easy to get lost in this spot. One of the few spots that we'll take that. Helgi Goblinbane statue would not be complete without an arm to grip a great axe. The goblins of Durin's Way destroyed the statue, and its parts can be found scattered throughout Moria. A dwarf named Uxie endeavors to reassemble it. So we'll talk to Arnaud again. Well, it's a good thing it's not too far away from Tharakh Bazan.
The orcs of Moria have much to account for.
Thank you for your assistance, Medriel. It would have been a pity if this piece had remained in the hands of the enemy. I will send this over to Uxie right away, for his devotion to the statue of Helgi Goblinbane is legendary already. Alright, so oh, you know what? There's one more thing in Tharakh Bazan I almost forgot. Let's get on our goat. We're going to keep going back and forth. Feel like a yo-yo. Boom, 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 ba-doom. But we want to go up. We're just going to ignore that guy. Right here. Oh, might as well kill him. He went through all that trouble to chase us. And here's another one of the mirrors. And we'll be talking to somebody at Zirakzigil about it. So I'm glad we came back for it. Because actually Zirakzigil is the next spot we're headed to. So, come over here. And the peaceful path is something that will open for us later. Oh, I guess we'll get off our horse, or goat. Our mode of a conveyance. Now, I said this is a bit of a maze, but that's fine because who we're looking for is right over here, being harassed by some Moria toughs. Like Azog. Mavzog will destroy you. Moria is ours. How about... no. Oh, that's right. There's 4 of them. Excuse me. Rude. You are incredibly rude. And I'm not even going to touch on what you smell like. Alright. And here is Arnfin.
The House of Durin will live forever!
Thank you for your help, friend. I was doing all I could to give us an advantage against the Arks when I was set upon. The Arks kept me trapped back here, taunting me with tales of Azog. In the days of old, when the Orcs slew the dwarves in scores, I shudder to recall those days. Please go back to Tharakh Bazan and let Buck know that I am unharmed, but will not yet be returning. The information we need may be found out here somewhere. Forgot this goes back.
Dwarves must fight for dwarves.
So Orphan is safe? That lightens my heart, Medriel. He's a brave adventurer like you, but I worried he had taken an arrow in the back. I do not approve of him staying out there, but that decision is his to make. He's a reasonable dwarf.
If we are to find Mithril and Khazad-dûm, we will first have to deal with the orcs.
When I was young, my father told me tales of the early days of Khazad-dûm. All of these stories ended abruptly, however, and no matter how many times I would ask, he would never tell me what happened next. I know now that the dark days were not spoken of. I fear by not talking about these defeats, about not even attempting to learn from them, we are dishonoring our forebears. I know Khazad-dûm keeps within it the tales of those lost battles. I sense that wise old Arnaud may know where to look for records of these tales, but I dare not ask him myself. Perhaps you could ask him? Simply feign ignorance on the matter if he becomes angered.
Durin's folk will defy Durin's bane!
So you want to know about the battles of old, and not our victories. That sort of talk could get you in a lot of trouble around here, for those things simply are not discussed. But Buck is a close friend, so I suppose I could help. Khazad-dûm, in fact, does still hold record of those days, but the goblins have strewn the papers all over, and what is left may be difficult to interpret without knowing more about the history of those days. Head east of here into Salab Nurzhendal, and explore the halls to the north and south. Return any pages you may find to me, so that I may help us understand their meaning. Alright. So now we need to go out and find some sheets of music, which is essentially what we're doing, or sheets of poetry. They are scattered around. So there's one right there. Ancient records. Okay, that's 2. In here somewhere. Not that way. You have discovered Salab Nurjandal. No, you die. We need one more. There they are, right there. And now that we've made a big loop, we can head right back into Tharakh Bazan. Get him away. Alright, I found them,
The
Arnod.
orcs of Moria have much to account for.
You found them, and the pages are all here. The complete tale of one of the great defeats of the dwarves of Khazad-dûm, a priceless find. Allow me to study these pages, but more, before revealing their discovery to Buck.
If only the elves were not so stiff-necked, we might make a swift victory of this endeavor.
I want to restore the glory I believe we have lost in denying our history. It is time to tell the tale of past battles in Khazad-dûm, not to my fellow dwarves, for they will not appreciate them. To truly honor those who have fallen, we must tell our tale to those figures of lore. Of course, this is not truly possible, but we may still honor their memory in another way. Go into the gardens and stand before the statues that rest at the center, and to the north, and before the southern fountain. There recount the story of the great battle. Those who fell died in battle and in honor. They should forever be remembered for their valor. And I do believe this is the final part of this quest chain. If you think about it, it's kind of sad. And so he wants me to go out and honor the memory of their ancestors by standing before the statues of said ancestors and reading the tale of their bravery, even in defeat. You have honored the fallen with the story of their ancient battle. Okay, so now that I think about it, this is actually a very appropriate quest for me to do right before Memorial Day, which is when we honor our fallen. Those that sacrifice their lives to protect our country, our freedom. This the statue? No, it's not. Or maybe I'm just not standing in the right place. And I'm pretty sure this is the statue. Well, it's a statue. A very big statue. There's that pretty spot again. It will be pretty. Ah, there we go, right here. It'll be prettier once they chase the goblins out of Moria, if they're able to ever actually do that. Okay, we need to stand before the fountain. Need to get rid of this goblin. I found a missing page. You stinker.
Die.
Where do we go for this one? deep claws up here. He was confused. That was funny. It says it's over here. Oh, there we go. I just missed the notice. Okay. You have honored the fallen. Alright. So. We have told the tale of fallen heroes to their statues. And maybe it is time for the dwarves to learn from the past and hear the stories of which they don't wish to hear. Alright.
We will reclaim Khazad-dûm for Dine Ironfoot.
I feel we have done well today, Madriel. Our forebears would be proud. We have honored them as we should have done long ago. So, heavy armor and a sword. Now this sword is good for a minstrel because it has will and vitality on it. Also has parry chance and critical rating. So yeah, very good for a minstrel. Although I think at that point the minstrel has a legendary weapon. Can't remember. I'm pretty sure that the sword is one of their that is one of their legendary weapons. I know I'm surprised, but I know that the instrument is not. And considering...
Stay a moment! We will need your aid against the orcs of Moria!
Okay, he just says to talk to... Buck. Accidentally fast-forwarded through that one. I wanted to read it.
Dwarves must fight for dwarves.
I have been eagerly awaiting your return, Madriel. What news from Arnod? Ah, this is outstanding. These pages recount one of the greatest battles of my forefathers in Khazad-dûm, and in such detail. We have just as much to learn from the victories of old as we do our failures. There is no dishonor in defeating when all have fought bravely. These records are not safe here in Tharakh Bazan. Take this tale to Borgar and Jazargun, so they may be preserved for future ages. Okay. That was funny that they drugged that Morval over, dropped off their quest, and ran off with the Morval still chasing them. Let's see. Can we remember... Wow. That was a lot easier than I thought it was. Now, either I just constantly got confused and turned around, or they actually made that easier to navigate. I'm not sure which. Alright, so lots of dwarves to talk to here.
Balin came, but we have heard no word from him.
What tale is this you bring to me, Madriel? I know it not. Borger looks carefully over the age pages. Azog. This is a tale most grim. It is a sad moment in our history, but an important one as well. I had thought the pages of this tale were forever lost. I shall be sure to preserve these stories for Buck, and for all our kin. Many thanks, brave Runekeeper.
Dwarves must fight for dwarves.
So the mirror once again reflects light through the halls. That news lifts my spirits. As you can see, we have various and sundry quests.
We have seen naught of Durin's bane. Beware if you journey into Moria.
The White-Hand Orcs have one purpose: to take command of the orcs and goblins at Khazad-dûm and turn them against the forces of Mordor. Why they were ordered to do that, I do not know, but their intentions are clear to me now. Now is time to tip the balance. Before they have a chance to overwhelm us, I want to force them against each other. There's a powerful White-Hand Orc leader, Zahoff, one who has united many of the goblin tribes between here and the gate, who now stands over Durin's way, claiming it as his own. The time for his fall has come, and for Mordor to be given the responsibility for his demise. My scouts report that Zahoff reigns in Fahim-Dûm. Find him, defeat him, and place this banner of Mordor upon his throne.
If we drive the orcs from Khazad-dûm, will it be enough?
I just narrowly escaped from the orcs to the east. They had me captive for an entire week, but I kept my eyes open and saw many useful things. It is time for you to make what I saw work to our benefit, Medriel. The camps are built within our ancient halls, but the orcs have been careless. There are several columns that, with a little work, look like they would fall and bring the entire cavern crashing down upon the orcs. The decaying columns are east of here, in the orc camp at Fahim-Dûm and Hadad-dûm. All you should need to do to bring the caverns down upon the orcs is pick away at the stone, then run.
What foul and nameless things we face in Moria, I know not.
If only the Bard had not left. One night he just seemed to lose his senses, started yelling into the darkness, and went screaming from camp, throwing his music everywhere. I think the future would look much brighter, even down here, if we could just sing the songs of old once more. Perhaps if you could find the bard's music, we could use it to bolster the spirits of the dwarves here at Jazargun, a light in the shadow, so to speak. The sheets of music will likely be spread throughout the orc camps at Fahim-Dûm and Hadad-dûm. It would be a dangerous venture. Are you prepared for such a challenge? So again, we're collecting sheets of music.
What foul and nameless things we face in Moria, I know not.
I have heard reports of White-Hand orcs all over the Great Delving, but not believe any had pressed this deep. I have seen them taking hold of the halls to the west, and I fear, while the purpose might be, I suspect their plan would be to enlist some of the goblins here to supplement their forces. But now I fear something more sinister. The ones I am particularly concerned with are the White-Hand taskmasters. They seem to carry considerable influence among the orcs of Khazad-dûm. I would ask you to defeat as many as you can. Perhaps it will dishearten the others.
We can only hope that Durin's Bane sleeps deeply.
Thank goodness you're here, Medriel. We are pressed to the limit. The orcs here are being led by a vicious group of white-hand orcs, whose knowledge and abilities have pressed us into a fight we cannot win with our current garrison. I sent word several days ago for help, but I'm afraid they will not know the safest path to our camp. Here's a flint and some twigs. Light the cauldrons along the road to the east. When you have finished, return here to me. Okay, so obviously these orcs have various and sundry tasks for us, and all of those are not in that broken barrel. Across this bridge, and on either side, we have large rooms, or halls as they call them. So that's one side, and that's the other side. And each of these is also, I believe, an exploration point of its own. I don't think I have enough time to do these. Let me check. Alright, so I checked, and we're already at about an hour. So we will be doing those quests next time. But hooray, we finished Zirakzigil and all of Tharakh Bazan. So we actually did pretty good. Interesting. So, if you notice, there's a whole bunch of mirrors set around, well, except for one or two broken ones. A giant reflector. And it bounces the lights around Moria. And that's what we're doing with those other mirrors, setting them so that they continue bouncing the light. And that's actually a thing that works. If you bounce light off of a mirror or other reflective surface, you will actually amplify the light and make it brighter. So it's actually a fairly realistic system that they have down here in Moria. Anyway, with all that being said, next time we will continue the quest here at Zirakzigil and see what other trouble we can get into. But until then, bye for now.